right, well, welcome everyone. My name is Colin Clark. I want to welcome everyone to today's Fiduciary Fitness podcast. I'm pleased to be joined today by Jean Dunn, CFP, Certified Financial Planner, for those of you who don't know that. She's a Vice President and Insights Leader at Rowe Price, which is just up the street in Baltimore. And Jean, welcome today. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
And Jean's actually a veteran of the Plan Sponsor University, which we are proud to do 6 programs a year. So, Jean, we're really excited for you to do a podcast with us on some of the topics that you have shared with us at our various TPSU sessions. And so today, we're going to talk a little bit about what's near and dear to my heart. I've been married for 23 years, and I have twin daughters that are seniors in high school, and we're going to talk about women in investing in the workplace, and why would our plan sponsor clients care about this topic? Saving for retirement is not unique to just women. It's not unique to men. We're all kind of in this boat. I know it's a changing workforce. When I grew up, my mom worked, but my dad was mostly the breadwinner most of my childhood. But we see a changing workforce, a changing dynamic. Why would it be helpful, Jean, for plan sponsors to learn more about how women approach their finances?
Sure. Thanks, Colin. I think the most important thing to understand if you're a plan sponsor is that gender norms can impact financial decisions. And I don't think that is widely understood. For many women, money is a taboo topic, but 8 out of 10 women will be solely responsible for their financial well-being at some point in their lives. So I believe a greater understanding of women plan participants is going to translate to better retirement outcomes for women.
Okay. Well, so one thing we really appreciate about our partners, now, of course, we're an independent firm. We work with dozens of asset managers. Rowe Price is a great partner of ours, and you guys have spent a lot of time and energy and research. So you've done research on the savings rates and balances of women versus their male counterparts in retirement plans. What have you found?
We all know that women earn less than men. But one thing that's important to acknowledge is that women contribute less to their retirement plans, and they often take time off of work to care for loved ones. All of these factors contribute to women having significantly lower balances. You know, in our research, we see baby boomer women have less than half of the retirement savings of baby boomer men. But what is even more disturbing is we see this continue with younger women. You know, millennial women continue to earn less than millennial men, and millennial women contribute on average only about 5% to their retirement plans versus millennial men who contribute 8% to their retirement plans. So as a result, millennial women continue to have significantly lower balances as well.
Well, so that begs the question then, from a plan sponsor standpoint, like what kinds of plan design changes then would you suggest to help close that gap?
Sure. So the first thing I think plan sponsors need to do is actually better understand these gender norms and the potential impacts to retirement outcomes. There's a lot of things in plan communication as well as plan design that could unintentionally be impacting women. You know, only about 1/3 of women identify as household CFOs, and that's the person responsible for investment decision making for the household versus over 50% of men. So I think plan sponsors should consider participant communication closely and even potentially plan design changes to ensure that the gender of your plan participants doesn't unintentionally negatively impact their retirement outcomes.
Well, that's fascinating, and we're behavioral finance nerds, so we're always looking at those things, and we want our plan sponsors to be choice architects. And so it sounds like from that standpoint, you want to empower our plan sponsors and encourage our plan sponsors to be choice architects and weave plan design in there that's really would you call it gender neutral?
Yes, I think that's a great example, is to be gender neutral. I'd love to, can I give you a specific example?
Please.
Yeah, so, I could talk for hours about the differences between men and women with regards to finances, but one specific example is actually the word risk. This one word often plays a critical role in determining asset allocation of participants when they're self-determining their asset allocation. But did you know that the word risk is perceived differently based on your gender. When men hear the word risk, they actually have a positive reaction. Risk means I'm going to go out and feed my family. Risk is necessary for survival to men. But to women, when they hear the word risk, they actually have a negative reaction. To women, risk is something that you do that's bad, that may or may not result in a negative outcome. Risk is not wearing your seatbelt or putting your children in a car seat. So to me, that's a great example of how gender differences could unintentionally impact, those retirement outcomes.
So what I hear you saying is that women approach investing differently than men. Is that fair?
Yes, absolutely. Women value security much more than men. There's been some separate research done by Gartner. Gartner surveys Americans, and they look at what they value most. Women value security 29 points higher on a 100-point scale than men. And so when you're thinking about financial decisions, that can play a big role in what investments you choose to invest in.
Well, that gives us a lot to chew on. And so, we're going to come back with part 2 of this and get really kind of down the weeds with how plan sponsors can focus on women. So, Jean, I want to thank you so much for this first part of the podcast, and I hope everyone will stay tuned to come back for part 2. Jean Dunn from Rowe Price, thank you so much.
Thank you, Colin.
That's going to do it for this week's show. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy our show, we'd love for you to subscribe on iTunes or wherever you access your podcasts. The opinions voiced in this program are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, financial, or tax advisor prior to investing. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, and SIPC. Investment advice offered through Global Retirement Partners, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Global Retirement Partners, Washington Financial Group, a division of Hub International Mid-Atlantic, and Hub International are not affiliated with LPL Financial. Global Retirement Partners, LPL Financial, Washington Financial Group, and Hub International are not affiliated in any way with the services offered by any guest on this show.
All right. Hopefully Jeff can edit that, right?